Danielle Brooks, you play Taystee on Orange is the New Black, one of my favorite characters, one of everyone I
Thank
know's
you.
favorite characters.
Thank
Um,
you.
and last season, oh my, that was something. Uh, I gotta ask, what was it like preparing and then shooting the scenes with Pusey's death and the subsequent uprising that happened? What was it like shooting that?
It was so super duper intense. It was challenging on so many levels. First of all, I was in the middle of doing Color Purple on Broadway, and we were in the middle of doing previews for that. So I was in intense rehearsals and then coming to Orange is the New Black and having to be in very intense scenes. But that scene in particular was super challenging because we were, one second, it's just, yeah, sorry. That scene was super challenging because the climate that was happening with our country, at the time, just July 2016, the whole Philando thing happened. And so we were in the midst of it. And so you couldn't help but feel the weight of what we're dealing with. It was so potent in the air. And what made it easy and challenging was the fact that I've known Samira for 10 years. And so I've known her so well. So it made it easy to it was somebody I cared for. But what was challenging about it was the fact that in my head, I'm still reminded that there are people that really are losing people. You know what I mean? And so how selfish of me would it have been to not give everything that I have, regardless of my fears, regardless of, feeling so vulnerable in front of my entire cast. I mean, there was 40, maybe 60 women there, all of the women there, and just having this very intimate scene. I just felt like I had to give everything I had. And the blessing of the moment is the fact that at the end of the day, Charles, I get to hold Samira. I get to hug her. She still does have breath in her body. So I'm just grateful that to be telling stories that matter, and telling things that are really changing our society and not just this fluffy stories. It's so challenging as an actor to step into a role like that, to go from this silly girl, season one, where everything that she does is about getting chicken for the people, or all of these silly things that Taystee was trying to do, to really dropping into some serious grit and meat. So as a young actor, I'm just thank you to the writers and to Gingy for just giving me a chance to really work on my craft and just get to play in a space that is really difficult subject matters to do. I hope that answers some question.
No, that was great, and it was certainly powerful. And then that it happened in the second to last episode, and then in that season finale, we had this amazing contrast of the uprising that was going on in the prison, but also the celebration of Pusey's life. It was so beautiful of that this one crazy evening she had in New York, and I was, and so was my mother. My mother was in tears as well. We saw it together, and I was wondering, when you saw that episode, you saw that contrast in the final cut of the episode. What was your reaction to that?
I was also in tears, Charles. I was also crying because that's that's what life is. Life is ups and downs, good and bad. That's what it is. And what we're dealing with is what we're getting to showcase is how we deal with it. And first of all, I think Samira just did an incredible job. I think she's such a dope actress, and the work that she did in all 4 seasons shouldn't go unrecognized. But I don't know, man. It's a reflection of how we are as people. We have that up and down feeling all the time. And we just, I guess, hope that we can live more so in the ups than the downs.
We all want that. We all want that. So to segue into, I know I want to be as surprised as everybody else when the new season comes out, which I cannot wait for. But what do you think will be like the most satisfying thing for the fans of the show with this new season?
Well, this season a grenade has gone off, and I think Taystee pulled that thing off. And threw it straight to Dayanara, and so now we have a riot, and with Taystee sort of leading the pack here, and trying to be the moral compass for Litchfield and keeping everybody focused on what our goal is. So in the midst of that, season 5 is going to be crazy because the power shift has changed. We are in control, and people have gotten to know us for these characters for 4 years, and they know how crazy we are in control when we actually have people structuring our lives. So for it to not have that, I think it's going to make for an amazing season 5. And I really am excited for people to see this season, because it just is not only talking about, the writing aspect of it all, but it's also like how we're going to put things in place to actually make things happen. And with the climate of our country, and look, I'm not no politician and I'm not trying to be, but I do feel like with the climate of our country, hopefully, the beauty of art and what we do as artists is to really have people to think about the decisions that we make for our country and who we are as people and how we treat one another. So I hope that through this season, it can just add a little piece of goodness into the world. And also people that can enjoy it,
Oh no, I know. I live right outside of DC, so believe me, the last thing we need is more the same. So it's always great to have that type of elevation. One thing that I thought was really that I just thought about is how much time was there between when you finished filming season 4 and the beginning of season 5, because that had to be to come back in and, okay, first day of shooting, okay, we're right back where we were in this intense moment of all this stuff that's going on.
Oh,
what was that like?
It's well, this is the thing. This season 4 and season 5 were very tricky for me, and I don't know if people realize it because I was in the midst of doing Color Purple, and I did Color Purple for a year. So I was kind of in 2 worlds and kind of always going in and out. So I mentally don't really remember. We started shooting when?
Does it all just sort of blend together?
It's blurred, So I actually think it was good for me to be so busy because it's like, oh, okay, just jump back in. But it was fun to delve into season 5, and it's in the course of 3 days, this season. So it's like holding a microscope up to everybody's emotions and everybody's feelings and issues, and just delving into it and just honing into what's going on. And I mean, it just makes for some really good acting. That's what I think. So I can't wait for it to come out. I'm a little nervous, but I'm excited for it to come out.
One of the things I think is so distinctive about the show is, and we've seen this with the Emmys a bit, is how I think the show does a really great job of straddling that line between comedy and drama. because even with some of the and your character in particular, I mean, there's some great that tension between you and Lorraine Toussaint in season 2 was so great. But then also, moments like in the most recent season when you're the secretary to Caputo, and you're calling the library asking to verify rumors that you're reading in the gossip.
Is Beyonce and JC still together?
Oh my god, that was so great. Does this season still have that sensibility to it in terms of riding the line in terms of that?
Oh man, I think that's totally an audience question, because for me, I think sometimes it was so isolated in what Taystee was about and her mission, and this season is so focused for her on getting justice for Poussey. I didn't quite even pay attention to the balance of drama and comedy, because she was just in a whole different world, and I kind of went along with that world with her. But I feel like, I mean, that's why I say it's kind of an audience thing, because I feel like I don't know what they're gonna laugh at. Like they might laugh at things. I'm like, are you serious? Like, because to me, I was like really going through it as an actor. And they might think it's the funniest thing in the world. Like, because sometimes it's funny to not laugh at people's pain in the sense of losing somebody, but how they deal with it. Because everyone is dealing with grief differently. So there might be some humor in that.
Definitely, and I cannot wait for that. One of the beautiful things about Orange is the New Black is it's such an ensemble show. It's such a large cast, and really everyone has gotten a wonderful chance to shine on that show. I think that's the genius of Genji and the writers on that show. Is there a character that you wish that you got to interact with a little bit more?
That's a good question. First of all, I love the writers because they have, like you said, done above and beyond to try to figure out how to make all of these women pop in some kind of way. And they've done a fabulous job of that. And I've been so privileged, like you were saying, to work with like Lorraine Toussaint, and be mentored by her in a way, and getting to work with Uzo, that's my girl, who's just an incredible actor, as we know. And the list can go on, but I have not yet had, first of all, I have to talk about Nick Sandow too, because Nick Sandow, he directed one of the episodes this season of 5, and so did Laura Prepon. And just getting to work as his assistant and getting to get to know him as an artist and now a director, he's phenomenal. So I love how intertwined and intermingled they do the cast. But I would love to do work with Yael Stone, because I think she's just so good. Like every time I watch her, I'm just encapsulated by her work, if that's a word. But I'm so intrigued by her work.
So one other thing that, as you said, you were doing The Color Purple while you were doing this for a full year.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, and you got nominated for a Tony for it, which was awesome. And you won a Grammy for it.
I got a Grammy!
Yeah!
I got a Grammy. That's the
hardest. That is so amazing.
Thank you. I never thought I would have a Grammy ever. That never crossed my mind.
What was it like, finding out that you had been nominated as one of the soloists, and then that you had won? What was that like for you?
Charles, I was on cloud 500. I was so grateful to just be recognized in that way. It just felt like my work was paying off. In school, people are like, oh, you're so young, you're 27, you've accomplished so much. But I've worked too, you know what I mean? And I say that in the humblest way, but even in high school, there was a lot of sacrifices made to go to this. I went to a private high school where I lived on campus and studied intensely theater. And it was basically like a mini Juilliard, you know? And so to give up those normal high school years, you know, and to go into such a discipline like Juilliard, there were a lot of sacrifices made, and I heard a lot of no's, and, you know, heard a lot of, you're not right for this, or you should just play the best friend, or whatever. But to like finally feel like I was building something, like people recognized, you know, the work, and genuinely recognized the work, and not about, like, I really feel like with the Tonys, they weren't focused on politics of it all, and really focused on what they were seeing and what you were delivering. And I was just so grateful to be in the number, I guess, you know, and my cast was so supportive. Everyone came to see the show. Everyone hit me with text messages and encouragements along the way. So I have received way more than I could ever have imagined in just being 27. So thank you for asking me that, because it just reminds me, you know, of like, I don't know, like just how good life is right now. I don't have anything to complain about.
Well, Danielle, I cannot begin to thank you enough for talking with us. And we cannot wait for the new season of Orange is the New Black, which is coming out. Is it later this month or next month?
June 9th.
June 9th. Okay. I will be counting down those days, because
are you gonna watch it with your mama?
I might, it depends, but we'll definitely be talking about it like right afterwards. I'm going to get a call from her going, "Oh my God, did you see this?"
Well, hey, mama. I don't know. I was saying hey on the Chrome Google thing. Hey.
Oh, she'll love that. Well, so Danielle, thank you so much for talking to us, and best of luck with this new season.
Thank you so much. I'll see you later.